trust, believe in the Most High, and chase your dreams. I'm chasing my dreams. It's hard. If it was a plane, you're gonna experience turbulence. Yeah. If it's a ship, you're gonna go through some rough waters where rocky big waves. Ride there. As long as you believe that your destination, you want to get there, you'll do it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm living my dreams.
I told you this, nigga.
In business, the goal is for you to become independent and be the boss, take the responsibility, and also get the profit.
I ain't got no motherfucking boss.
SP. You know what's gangster? You know what's gangster to me? Is to live the way you want to live.
You know Kamala like I do. That's no surprise. I mean, think about it. No one could have predicted the way everything would have unfolded this summer. And yet, in a critical moment when our country needed her, Kamala couldn't have been more prepared to meet that moment. And she's met it every single day since. Yes. Oh, she's filling arenas in a way we haven't seen for years. She's building a remarkable campaign in record time, dominating her opponent so thoroughly in the debate, he was too scared to face her again. Kamala, she's putting herself out there fearlessly, facing down even her harshest critics. She's seeking out Republicans to find common ground. And unlike her opponent, she's not ducking interviews or cowering in safe spaces only with fawning audiences. No, she's showing us what a sane, stable leader looks like.
Shut the fuck up!
Lord Hybrid.
Lord Hybrid. Lord Hybrid, my brother. Peace to the God.
Shout out to Lord Hybrid.
And then I want to give an acknowledgement to my rich friends in the building. Shout out to Lord Hybrid.
Nigga got money.
Again with the money?
Yeah, again with the money.
Yo, Lord Hybrid, my boy got them bands, bro. And the woman gonna know, okay, he got something. He pulled up in the G-Wagon. And Lord Hybrid is in the building.
I can smell a motherfucker with money.
Brothers, I'm so sorry to have to subject you to that bullshit. You know, is in no man's desire to listen to her. I'm sure not even Barry Soetoro. But let me call that man by his name. His name is Barack Obama. President Barack Obama. You don't want to disrespect the man. But yeah, you know, it's I see on the internet, you know, women kind of, you know, wilding out or mad or screaming or whatever. But I wanted some insight on what they really think. Like, how do they process, like the women that was on that side and stuff like that? Like, how do they actually process what happened? And it was hard to find anything, but found a little something. So I don't know.
About the way things went last night.
Honestly, I'm very disappointed, especially as a Black woman in America. I'm very disappointed. I just wasn't expecting this. You know, I thought that our country was progressing and that we
See, that's the thing about them. You know, these are actually young Howard University students that was out there when, you know, they was waiting that night for Kamala to concede and she never came out. That shit was funny. Yo, even Hillary conceded, you know what I mean? This chick would concede, she disappeared. Nobody knew where she was at. Oh God, they so terrible. But if you listen to what they're saying, it's like you're stupid and like the people are dumb and they didn't think we were this stupid.
I just wasn't expecting.
Feel about the way things went last night?
Honestly, I'm very disappointed, especially as a Black woman in America. I'm very disappointed. I just wasn't expecting this. You know, I thought that our country was progressing and that we would be progressive and hire someone that is qualified, not just because the color of her skin, but because she's actually qualified.
So she thinks that, you know, the people are still like, you know, this is the liberal bubble that college has become, which is destroying the mind, particularly of young women, but young men also. Feminizing young men, and programming these young women to think they're right. Shout out to my man Daniel Bell. Salute Mufasa Shabazz. But programming them into an ideology where they think they're right, and even when they're wrong, there's something wrong with you. So they can't come out of that bubble of thinking to understand that, you know, something that, you know, if they looked at some data that will be apparent. And it is
Took it too far, y'all.
that America is red. Now that's just state by state. So if you just look at state by state, the whole Southeast is red. That's an entire region of the country. The Northeast and the West are where most of the blue is at. Most of what's in between the Northeast and the West is red. Okay. And so for many of them, their world, they've only lived in cities. That there's pockets of blue in the South, like Atlanta, which has a high gay population. So if you look at, you know, some of that blue, it's Atlanta and just the cities. You see Atlanta, Charlotte, probably you know, there's nothing blue in Florida or South Carolina, but like Atlanta, Charlotte. Then if you go up the coast, you see like the Massachusetts and New York cities. Even if you're looking at the state of New York, it's mostly red outside that of New York City. Even when you look at this, even most of the Northeast counties are red, but they just have large cities that suck up their electoral votes through the population. But if you look at this map that you're looking at on your screen, most of those people are red. So they look at the red people or the conservatives' views as being, well, they're uneducated. You know what I mean? So they can't see outside their bubble and they don't know how much of a minority they are in this nation. So that they're witnessing is the people of America rise up and say, you know, this is so bad, you know, we got to go vote this out. And so more of America went just to say, we don't want this. And they don't understand that part because they think everybody should think what they think.
Yes.
Why do you think things didn't go her way?
Especially as a black woman in America, I'm very disappointed.
The way things went last night. How do you feel about the way things went last night?
Honestly, I'm very disappointed. Especially as a black woman in America, I'm very disappointed. I just wasn't expecting this. You know, I thought that our country was progressing and that we would be progressive and hire someone that is qualified, not just because the color of her skin, but because she's actually qualified.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Why?
And that's another thing. When they talk about qualified, they're educated. So they think about jobs, job titles, resume. Well, she's qualified because she has held the job of vice president of the United States and she's been a senator and she has a degree and she's a lawyer. So she's qualified. But they can never talk about what she did correctly on the job that she's still currently holding. That's never a part of it. Then I'm offended as a black woman. I'm offended as a woman. The other people, they don't understand what we're looking at. We're looking at your work performance in the job. You where the borders are. You let in 20 million undocumented migrants that cause problems for communities. And even those of us like myself who don't live in a place that's directly affected by that, just the thought of that happening in the country and them pushing for more of that and actually flying them in and telling them to come and you know, that performance right there is what we're looking at, as well as the values, the pro LGBTQ, the woman most important, the white people are bad. That was a big thing for them because a lot of white people talked about white discrimination. You know, the DEI thing going too far to where white people was like, yo, we can't, you know, we getting discriminated against. The largest single population demographically in the United States. So there's a lot of things that they don't understand that was causing this reaction from the electorate to be so assertive in voting against what she believes is the right thing.
Why do you think things didn't go her way?
I'm not sure. I'm getting my PhD at George Washington in public policy and administration. And so going forward, I know that that's something I'm going to be looking into is what happened with the voter turnout, what happened.
What's your gut tell you? Like academic stuff, PhD stuff aside, what are you feeling?
I'm thinking it's something that we missed, like a demographic that we missed. I don't know if it's
That's the only thing they can think of. That they can only think in terms of demographics. There's obviously a demographic because we got uneducated white women, we got college educated blacks, we got black women, we got half of the white women, we got Latinos. Everything is thought of in demographic boxes that they create to make them think that, all right, and which is how Kamala did it, because she went to the Jews and told them one thing, then she went to the Muslims and told them something else, then she went to the blacks and promised them something that didn't exist, and then she went, you know, she was there all over the place telling everybody anything, but she just didn't understand the overall how we're seeing your behavior and your decision making and your values. And so this chick saying, I'm going to get my PhD from George University in public policy and commission and all that, and I'm going to look into that. I'm like, because it must be some kind of demographic. No, you don't. It's y'all's messaging. People don't want that trans shit for their kids. People don't want all these damn dusty ass immigrants up in this motherfucker. People don't want bad trade agreements like NAFTA. People ain't giving a damn that you a black woman or you black. If Kamala had went up there and said, had to stop the border and had to been for things that people agree with, they would have voted for her. The fact that she's a woman, the fact that she say she black or she Indian or whatever she is, nobody gives a damn about that. But they can't see that.
I heard that this morning I was watching the news. I heard that the Latinos turned out really big. I don't know if that just wasn't anticipated or expected from the Harris campaign, but that's what I'm leaning towards.
Young people.
Yes, young people as well. Yes, I didn't even, and that was something else they mentioned this morning was that the first-time voters, they were leaning towards Trump as well.
Yo, every demographic, young, old, blind, Latino, black, everybody was leaning towards, or numbers went up towards Trump. Educated people, young people. She can't figure it out. It's totally ridiculous.
Young people.
Yes, young people as well. Yes.
Yo, I went in this the day after the election. I threw on my MAGA hat. I had never wore that hat. I got Blacks for Trump, Black Americans for Trump, Make America Great Again. I got all kind of them. I got a collection. Like I got a large collection of official Trump hats that I got from Trump's campaigns over there. I got Keep America Great, Keep America Great from the last one. I got a lot of stuff from them. So I went in there with my camouflage MAGA hat. It just says MAGA, MAGA. When I bought my little thing out the convenience store, was this young white man ringing me up. He said, "Hey man, I like your hat." I said, "Hey man, we dodged the bullet, brother." He said, "Absolutely, man. Absolutely." He said, "I'm so relieved." This was a young white man. He looked to be maybe 21. Good little clean cut white dude, regular white dude, like white dudes like I remember coming up. Not those cool ass white dudes that talking half, but he had a little black slang to him too. He did, but he was a cool ass young white dude working his job. He was very professional, and he said he liked my hat, and he was really strong on Trump. This young man, just another demographic that these chicks that's going to get PhDs, and the PhDs make them more stupid. Because the book becomes their reality, even though the book was written by an idiot.
George Washington in public policy and administration. And so going forward,
things didn't go her way.
I'm not sure. I'm getting my PhD at George Washington in public policy and administration.
And my daughters, you know what they're being taught to be? Wives and mothers. Oh, you want to be ignorant. No, college is what makes you stupid.
Like academic stuff, PhD stuff aside, what are you feeling?
I'm thinking it's something that we missed, like a demographic that we missed. I don't know if it's, I heard that this morning I was watching the news, I heard that the Latinos turned out really big. I don't know if that just wasn't anticipated or expected from the Harris campaign, but that's what I'm leaning towards.
Young people.
Yes, young people as well, yes. I didn't even, and that was something else they mentioned this morning, was that the first-time voters, they were leaning towards Trump as well. And I think that just was unexpected. I think people think that because we're the younger generation, we're going to be more progressive and vote on the Democratic side, but that just wasn't it.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Yeah, man. These people don't have a clue, and they got their degrees, and they got their PhD from George Washington Mason University, and they got their masters, and they think this stuff is right, and they don't know they're little blue dots in a big red forest called America. America's a Republican country. This guy won it's official. He won the popular vote. That means America's a Republican country. He won every single swing state. That's like fighting 7 dudes and beating all 7. He got everything. Shout out my man UFO Kamikaze. He says that military authorization to use lethal force against civilians just before the election backfired on them. That's why they encourage a peaceful transfer of power. I wasn't quite aware of that, man. Tell me some more about that UFO kamikaze. All white people use black slang now, even newscasters. They do, man. I miss the old white people. They were real. You know what I mean? I mean, it's in the media, so the media affects everybody. So I understand it because we got a lot of our little hip hop slang back in the 80s and the 90s off, rap music, stuff like that. And we was watching on TV, but really wasn't, that was our little thing. But it's all good. He was still a good little young white boy. Yeah, I don't even like saying white boy. I like saying young man or white young man. All that white boy stuff. Don't call me a black boy. I ain't gonna call you no white boy. I'm gonna call you a white man because you a man and I'm a man. But these young women, they idolize these feminists. And they listen to these people and they like inspired by them.
On January 20th, 1961, President John F. Kennedy issued a challenge. He said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Well, I'm here to tell you that what you can do for your country, what you can do for democracy here, and what you can do for the spirit of John Lewis and all the others who dared to walk across that bridge in Selma and fight for justice for us all. What you can do for every pregnant young woman who has died because she was not eligible to receive the emergency medical care she desperately needed because of an abortion ban.
See how sick Oprah is? How much of a fucking lying, devil worshiping, evil, globalist, anti-human she is. Listen to this propaganda. Golly.
Cross that bridge in Selma and fight for justice.
First of all, when they gonna let that Selma shit go? Slavery, Selma. None of these motherfuckers in here besides your ass was born when that shit was happening. They don't give a fuck about Selma, and most of these niggas don't even know what that shit is. Even at Howard University or wherever the fuck they at. At some rally or whatever. Always gotta bring up some old shit. And then it's still you're leaning too heavy black. Cause that Selma shit, these are old childless feminists. They go women with no children go evil. Most of them. That Letitia James chick, she back out there talking some crazy shit. A 66-year-old childless aborted woman. Now you got Oprah, no kids. You should be at home with your grandkids. Nancy and goddamn Maxine Waters' old ass just got reelected. I'm like, go home, man. Go take your ass home. Don't you got some people you love? You old. Shit. Fucking, I don't know if she got no kids or not. I don't know, but I'm just saying. Just like damn Kamala.
For us all. What you can do for every pregnant young woman who has died because
what pregnant young chick?
She was not eligible to receive the emergency medical care she desperately needed because of an abortion ban.
There's no abortion bans nowhere. There's no women out there dying. So they're saying she's in an emergency situation and she doesn't have access to the help she needs. Why does the only help she need be abortion? Any pregnant woman that's going through a pregnancy, the number one thing they need is an abortion? She didn't say nothing about the girl got raped or molested. She said she needed emergency care. Now I know women take prenatal classes and they give them pregnancy vitamins, folic acid, and they go through stuff like that. And that helps them have a healthy pregnancy. But she's talking about abortion. So most pregnant women need abortions. I think that's what she actually wants.
When you look at what Lord Hybrid is saying, he's right about all that, really.
What you can do for yourself and what you can do for us all. What you can do for every pregnant young woman who has died because she was not eligible to receive the emergency medical care she desperately needed because of an abortion ban.
That's a totally false narrative Mufasa Shabazz pushed by the left. These women aren't dying because they can't get abortion. Nobody's dying in the United States because they can't get an abortion. That's not happening. This is just fear mongering and distortions and misusing things and trying to get emotional reactions. The men are not going to have emotional reaction to that. So you're not talking to men. They're always floating these old feminists out there, and it's not helping them.
Lord Hybrid is right.
What you can do for yourself and what you can do for everyone and everything you cherish is vote. And if you are watching or hearing me right now and you haven't already, you have got to vote. And listen, I know that some of you are feeling burnt out and bruised and maybe inconsequential. Nothing could be further from the truth. Every single vote, every one is going to matter. That's why I've come to Philadelphia tonight. And yesterday I was all the way across the country and I was hiking on a Sunday afternoon and I met a woman named Angela who told me that she was going to sit this one out. Now I know she was immediately sorry she told me that because I would not let up. So I said, sit this one out. We don't get to sit this one out.
It's just a bunch of punchlines. She's not giving them nothing as to why they should vote. The only issue that these women have spoken about is abortion, which they don't understand isn't a big issue for Americans, not even women. They know they can still get abortions. So they're trying to scare them with the false fear of an abortion ban from Trump. But I'm like, that's your only issue? Everything else is just platitudes. You gotta vote for the country. I know you feel like you're broke and you beat down and you can't get a goddamn job and you're staying with your mamas and you ain't never gonna be able to buy a house and the inflation took all your money. But you gotta vote. Vote. I'm like, you gotta sell them on something, you stupid fucks. These punchlines and we can't, you don't get to sit this one out. You gotta vote. Well, will you please tell me why I need to vote? Abortion! Abortion! That's all these bitches talk about.
Yo, Lord Hybrid, I'm gonna agree with you too.
If we don't show up tomorrow, it is entirely possible that we will not have the opportunity to ever cast a ballot again.
Come on, Ope. They're gonna ban abortions. They're gonna kill the women because they can't get abortions, and they're never gonna be able to vote again unless you go vote for Kamala Harris.
And let me be very clear. If we don't show up tomorrow, it is entirely possible that we will not have the opportunity to ever cast a ballot again.
Get the fuck out my face with that bullshit. No. Stop it.
Can get to the polls, opportunity to ever cast a ballot again. And let me be very clear. If you do not make sure that the people in your life can get to the polls, that is a mistake. Deciding not to decide, that is most definitely a vote to let other people control your future. Now, we all know what we're voting against. So I want to end by reminding you about a few things that we're voting for. We are voting to defend and protect the Constitution of the United States.
Shut the fuck up!
A whole bunch of nothing. 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 She ran on nothing but abortion. And then you wonder why this is the people they roll out there. Oprah, billionaire. Kamala, vice president. Fucking all these bitches, whatever the fuck. They doing something, and these bitches all preaching the same bullshit.
She's not losing her train of thought or stumbling over her words. And she's doing it all with vigor and with grace. That's because Kamala Harris is a grown-up.
More punchlines. She's a grown-up. So we should vote for her because she's a grown-up. That's what you're telling me, Michelle.
And Lord knows, we need a grown-up in the White House. Someone with the maturity and fresh ideas to keep moving our country forward. Kamala is the only candidate in this race who has outlined a clear set of policies.
And nobody knows what they are because anytime she's asked about those policies, she gives word salads that nobody could understand. Trump put on his policy page a list that had like 10 things, 15 things. You could read it like half a page. But all of the stuff that you read, you'll agree with. Kamala's website had no policies on it for the vast majority of the election. Then towards the end, they dropped the thing that was policies, and it was 80 pages long. I can't even listen to Kamala for 5 minutes. I'm not reading 80 pages of Kamala. She didn't have a plan. That's a lie. Everything they say is a lie or just a punchline. And Michelle spent this time giving punchlines. They ran on punchlines and abortion.
Including focusing on lowering costs and reducing drug prices for all Americans.
Commie price controls. This is not China.
Giving tax credits to first-time home buyers, folks starting small businesses, and working families raising our kids.
Government interference in the markets. I didn't have to go to the government to give me the money to get paid, make the down payment on my house. And nobody else that I know, and most of the people that I went to college with, my peers, all own homes. None of them went to the government to get help to buy a home. So if you created an environment where now you got to go to the government to get help, you damage the economy. And if you made it where they can't afford to do it, you damage the economy.
When you look at what Lord Hybrid is saying, he's right about all that, really.
Let me tell you, it is a remarkable plan. And these remarkable last few months mirror the way Kamala has handled herself her entire life, fighting for working people and the vulnerable, first as a prosecutor, then as an attorney general, then as a U.S. senator, and now as our vice president of the United States.
Just like I told you, it's never about what they did. It's about the degrees and the job titles. she was a prosecutor, and she was a senator, and she was a vice president. She's qualified. And if you don't vote her in, you're a misogynist and a sexist and a racist and an anti-Semite and a bigite and an all that.
Taking on the big banks, the transnational gangs and predatory for-profit colleges, and always doing it, holding her head high with warmth and dignity and class. So Michigan, do not buy into the lie that we do not know who Kamala is or what she stands for. This is someone who understands you, all of you, someone from a middle-class family raised mostly by her mom, like so many of us.
Why did Kamala, since you saying don't buy into the false narrative that we don't know who Kamala is? Well, when Candace Owens found out that Kamala Harris had a picture of a fake black grandma in her book, and she dug out and found out that, went to the village and got the people, and the people was like, that's not Miss Barrow, her grandma. No, she didn't look nothing like that. The one that she got in her book, that ain't her. That ain't Miss Barrow. That ain't her grandma. I know her and her grandma. I was raised around her grandma. Her grandma didn't look nothing like that. That's a black woman. Miss Barrow looked Irish. That's what the black lady said that grew up with Kamala in Jamaica, or knew Kamala's grandma in Jamaica, and that lived in the village, and that seen her grandma every day. Why she didn't address no questions regarding that, Michelle? But you gonna sit up here and tell us we know her? Well, why was she silent on that?
Kamala has handled herself her entire life, fighting for working people and the vulnerable, first as a prosecutor, then as an attorney general, then as a U.S. senator, and now as our vice president of the United States.
Shut the fuck up!
Taking on the big banks, the transnational gangs and predatory for-profit colleges, and always doing it, holding her head high with warmth and dignity and class. So Michigan, do not buy into the lie that we do not know who Kamala is or what she stands for. This is someone who understands you, all of you, someone from a middle-class family raised mostly by her mom, like so many of us, leaning on her neighbors like we all do. That's what you want in a president, someone who gets you and will have your back.
I want Trump to get me, to know me and who I am. To know that I like kale and parsley salads, to know that I like organic orange juice. I want him to know me. I want him to know that I like brown skin and light skinned chicks with petite with bubble butts, because he need to know that. He needs to know me. He don't need to just be competent, able to do the job and be dedicated to the United States and putting America first and really understand how to deal with powerful people, with how to take command and control, just somebody who knows me. I want to know my favorite brand of jogging pants. I like Tommy Bahama, and I want Trump to understand that. Come on, man.
Take it from me. And I know good people. Kamala Harris is an extraordinary human being. She is an extraordinary candidate, and she will be an extraordinary president of the United States of America. Mark my words, because I don't lie. So Michigan, with all that being said, I got to ask myself, well, why on earth is this race even close? I lay awake at night wondering what in the world is going on. And it's clear to me that the question isn't whether Kamala is ready for this moment, because by every measure, she has demonstrated that she's ready.
Yeah, she's ready to let another 20 million illegal immigrants in. She's ready for to produce another 20% inflation per year. She's definitely ready to do what she's been doing.
The real question is, as a country, are we ready for this moment? Are we willing to do what it takes to get her across the finish line, or are we going to let ourselves get distracted and fall for the scam? Are we going to lose sight of the dire...
Shut the fuck up!
And right...
It's hard to listen to, man. It's really hard to listen to. But these are the black women that they roll out in front of these young people and say, admire her. She was the first lady. She went to Harvard. She's a lawyer. She's got $100 million now, unmarried. Or Oprah's a billionaire. She's super intelligent and successful and everything you wish you could be. These poor little, and then these the Bible says that women are the weaker vessel, and they are weaker. They're weaker in every way. They're weaker physically, they're weaker intellectually in most cases, but not all. But under pressure, they're not as durable as us. Just imagine if somebody shot at Kamala Harris while she was on the podium and it zipped by her damn ear, and somebody got shot and killed, and another person got shot. Kamala would have quit the next day, dog. Kamala couldn't even bring herself to come out after she lost and address her people. She just sent them home. Where her bedroom and cried all night. Couldn't be strong enough. You know what I mean? So this is the bullshit that they have to listen to, these poor women. So we gotta understand. She can't understand why we was doing this.
I don't trust the polls. I don't trust the media. He had everything against him. He had all the cards stacked against him. So.
Night
I did.
And she didn't come out.
No, she didn't speak last night.
How did you feel about that?
It was disappointing, definitely, but I kind of feel like if I were running for president, I wasn't winning, I probably wouldn't have come out either. I think that she definitely just needed to take a break to kind of just take it all in. She worked very, very hard.
Yeah, she had a duty to go and address her supporters and concede, but she couldn't do that. And this woman said she would have did the same thing.
But I kind of feel like if I were running for president, I wasn't winning, I probably wouldn't have come out either.
But they want to be president. And they don't understand why we would celebrate. And they got their own answer. The problem with them is they don't go out and seek answers. They create their own answers and try to make the world fit in to what their beliefs are, even though most of the world doesn't.
Surprised by the way stuff went yesterday?
I think I'm a little shocked. I don't know if I'm necessarily surprised. I feel like America wasn't ready for a woman president, and it shows. I don't necessarily think it's because she was black. I think it's because she was a woman. And it's sad to say, but I think that's ultimately the truth. I don't necessarily think it's because she was black. I think it's because she was a woman. Ready for a woman president. I feel like America wasn't ready for a woman president.
See, that's her answer. That's the bottom line. She thinks it's all about her being a woman. But she came up with her own answer. They'll never go out to the other parts of the country where people think different and ask them why they made a decision and what's important to them and why they thought Trump was a better option for them than Kamala. They're just gonna sit here and something they read in their book that says they're gonna cling to their guns and their religion and all of this stuff, and they just look at these people that they're uneducated. They're uneducated, and we haven't progressed as much as I thought.
I feel like America wasn't ready for a woman president, and it shows. I don't necessarily think it's because she was black. I think it's because she was a woman. And it's sad to say, but I think that's ultimately the truth.
So you think the reason that she didn't win was because she's a black woman?
I think it's because she's a woman.
A woman, okay.
Yes.
Okay. You're not surprised. Why did so many young people vote for Trump this year?
I have no idea. I really think it's because a lot of people are uneducated.
There they go. See, it's something wrong with you that you didn't vote for this terrible, incompetent, dishonest candidate that's never had a real job, never worked in the private sector, been in the government forever, seemingly has no integrity. Even her billionaire supporter doesn't respect her, but we're uneducated. And that's what you came up with. You didn't go do no research and talk to the people who voted the other way. They always got their own answers, and usually those answers are wrong.
Yes.
Okay. You're not surprised. Why did so many young people vote for Trump this year?
I have no idea. I really think it's because a lot of people are uneducated. And I think being that we are like still young adults, like we still are kind of, what's the word? Like we're still voting based on what our parents are telling us to do. Like a lot of young people are not doing their own research. Their parents say, oh, vote for this person, so this is what they vote for. They haven't really taken the time to kind of branch out of the beliefs that they grew up in.
And see, that's actually what's wrong with them. Exactly what she said. She said they grew up out. The people who voted for Trump, they haven't grown up out of what they was raised to believe. And they're uneducated. That's what this young lady said. Right? And for some reason, they believe that if you have an education from the government back, all of these, she goes to Howard University. All of these are public state schools, so these are government schools. So she thinks that if you didn't go get an education or reprogramming from one of these state government institutions, you're dumb. And the good thing about it is these institutions are becoming so liberal that men are just like, I don't want to go to college. Dudes are just not going. So now they're there in their own echo chamber with a few, mostly low testosterone men or men who too scared to say how they really feel because they don't want to get in trouble. And they just get doom looped into this viewpoint, and it's not serving them well because they're going to continue to lose. This woman's not going to be marriageable. No, she's not going. These women aren't tolerable in the home as a wife. Yeah, so these educated feminists, everything is about woman, gender. They drank the Kool-Aid. They're programmed people who need to be reprogrammed. So by her saying this is how they view people, and this is what makes you weak when you turn against your upbringing. I'm sticking with my upbringing because I know without doubt that my upbringing and my values and morals are superior to the alternative. They don't realize that.
so this is what they vote for. They haven't really taken the time to kind of branch out of the beliefs that they grew up in. They haven't really taken the time to kind of branch out of the beliefs that they grew up in. So this is what they vote for. They haven't really taken the time to kind of branch out of the beliefs that they grew up in. They haven't really taken the time to kind of branch out of the beliefs that they grew up in. They haven't really taken the time to kind of branch out of the beliefs that they grew up in. And I feel like if a lot of people took the time to actually educate themselves, they would understand that they don't stand for the things that Trump necessarily believes, and that they would flip over.
That's good.
Yeah. So they want you to send your kid to a government information institution to be reprogrammed, to be totally lost in a bubble of liberalism that they can't see out of. And the fact that we have to deprogram them, I mean, it's not hard. And a lot of these people, like, I guess they're supposed to be, maybe some of them is journalists. I don't know what they are. But it's not that hard to ask people and get some insights on maybe even just the male perspective.
Left behind. We've been left behind. We've been kicked down, as Oliver Anthony put it, and they're kicking us while we're down.
Yeah, I just think he's passionate, he is strategic, and he knows what is right for the people.
Women do tend to vote more on emotion and feelings instead of logic and policies. So I tend to think that the Democrats play really, really well to that tendency.
Scholarships and job opportunities, so much less if you're white and Christian, because they will turn you down because of your skin color.
Yeah. You could have just asked those dudes right there. They would have gave you a different perspective. I didn't hear any of them say they weren't ready for a woman to be the president. They were talking about real issues. You know what I mean? And a lot of them, the lady has problems. Lady has problems, and men aren't comfortable with her integrity. So it's a lot of things, but the fact that they don't even bring up the border and the migrant crisis, and they don't even bring these women, neither of them even considered the border or the migrant crisis. 15 to 20 million migrants dumped in communities. The economic impact. They called people on the right conspiracy theorists when they talked about replacement theory. I used to be on Rumble and listen to a lot of independent, hardcore, right voices, and they had been talking about the replacement theory, and the media says they're conspiracy theorists and they're spreading untruths and disinformation. But then on Kamala's, I wish I had the video clip, but I don't have it. But I saw it with my own eyes. On the campaign trail for Kamala, Bill Clinton was out. And Bill Clinton said he criticized them for not vetting. He criticized Biden and Kamala for not vetting the migrants. But he admitted to the replacement theory. And he said, we're not having enough babies, so we got to keep up with the workers. So we had the important. So basically, he's validating the replacement theory. So if we have a problem, It's just like China. China had a one-child policy because they were trying to control their population. Then they seen it was some problems with that type of thing, the way it was going to be too many old people and not enough young people working. So they told everybody, have kids. They didn't import 20 million fucking Africans and Haitians. So if Bill Clinton cared about the population, why doesn't the government say abortion is bad because we need to value the babies because we're not having enough replacement level or whatever? And so have babies, and abortion is bad. And why don't they tell their politicians to say that and let us grow more Americans instead of importing a bunch of damn dusty ass Africans, Haitians, and Venezuelans? Because it's about replacing us. And so men don't think about just, oh, she's a woman or she's black or Italian or one of these, she's an uneducated white woman or an educated black trans male or whatever the fuck. Men think about simple things like integrity and economics. The border is about economics. You let 20 million in, they're low skilled, they're reducing the wages of low skilled workers, which we have plenty of already, more than enough to do all the jobs. Who's going to pick the fruit? We've been eating fruit my whole life, and there's been no shortage of fruit on the fruit shelves. We was getting by without these 20 million new niggas. Come on, man. Don't treat me like a fucking asshole and a retard.
I don't know. I think she, I don't, she's a lot. First of all, she got caught lying about her grandma. She got a book she got, but it's supposed to be staying next to her grandma. Her grandma died before she was born. That's not even her grandma. So you lied about something that's small, something like that. That's just somebody can find out that you're lying. What you won't lie about? I mean, I don't like the way she had like Megan Thee Stallion. Like that's almost like she's saying like anybody. I can get these rappers to come up here and this is automatically gonna vote for me. I don't even care about politics, but I'm like, people see through that. Like I mean, plus I don't think. I don't even want to say this on camera, but I just think that a man should be president.
Yeah, and they would call him a misogynist because he has the right to free speech to say, "Hey, I think a man should be the president." And I guarantee you, when Trump won, Oskino was just like this.
I don't trust the polls. I don't trust the media. He had everything against him. He had all the cards stacked against him. So.
Oskino was on that same vibe right there when Trump won. So yeah, man, it's crazy. These feminists and the fact that unfortunately we have to deprogram these women. It's going to be our job. It's going to be a lot of young men's job. We have to deprogram them because we're not going to survive if we don't. Yeah. Especially black. We had the highest rate of abortions. So we lost 30 million people. Now, there's even flaws in terms of our long-term survival in a lot of the commonly held red pill beliefs and advice. We tell young men, get your money and then get your shit together, then get your girl. Don't be out here chasing ass. Go against your nature. So, in all likelihood, for most men, most American men, especially most black men too, you're not going to find true stability and success until you're in your 40s. So you will have missed your prime reproductive years, as I have, and have, as many men have had. And so if all the men wait until they're successful or financially stable to start reproducing, our population is gonna crash. And most, like, I mean, if you think about our parents, if they waited until they had the success to have us, how many of us would exist? A lot fewer. Most of us come from, our parents didn't have no money. People should have children by the time they're 25. By nature. You should have more than you should have more than one kid by the time you're 25. Like, I got a whole large family because my great grandpa had, I think, 10 kids. Then they all had kids, and I came in one of them branches with kids and first cousins, and you know what I mean? And all of these people, when pretty much nobody was financially stable, all these people reproduce a lot of people, and they didn't have a lot of money. So we as males are told by Red Pill, sacrifice your best reproductive years. That's gonna cause a collapse. We have to reprogram our people in terms of survival to help young people understand you should be forming families young and reproducing. We need every person to have 2 kids just to maintain. If everybody had 2 kids, we'd maintain the population. Now, if I look across from what I see, by the time these people are 25, Americans, men and women, they still think they're kids. Most of them don't have children. I'm talking about the current 20-year-olds and 25-year-olds. They think a kid, like, that's too much responsibility. Whereas they should have been doing something. The Bible technically says that a woman is supposed to, as soon as they get old, marry them off and start making them have kids, or they're gonna get into something bad. The Bible say that. It's called a 1%. I'm in the 1%. I rode my G-Wagon over to my homie's house. He's like, nobody know I got the G-Wagon. So I rolled over to my homie's house, just pulled up. He opened the door. He was like, "What? What the hell? No, you didn't." I was like, "Yeah. How long you had this?" You know, he was just looking at it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a 1% person. And it took me over 40 years, almost 50 years to achieve that. So now how much time I got to have kids? Yeah, I can have a lot of kids with a lot of different bitches and do all this wild shit, but I'm just saying, in terms of forming a stable family, even if it's not where I'm married and living in the house with the woman, but kid, then another 2 years, kid, another 3 years, kid. If I got started earlier at that, that would have helped the population maintain more, and I would be producing Americans. But all of these feminists, these old ladies, what are they screaming about?
What you can do for every pregnant young woman who has died because she was not eligible to receive the emergency medical care she desperately needed because of an abortion ban.
She talking about abortions. Kamala's talking about abortion. Michelle Obama's talking about abortion. Abortions is the reducing our population. They programming the women to want to reduce the population. And now, courtesy of Kanye, this is what I learned. 50% of the black pregnancies in New York in an abortion. This is what they're pushing. And I was I had left a comment under a video where it was abortion was I was talking about my experience and why it's an important issue to me. And I just left a comment and I was like, this issue is important to me. Black woman aborted my kid like 4 or 5 years ago against my will, this, that, and the other. And it was just dudes, same thing happened to me. Me too. Dudes just started popping in. I was like, damn. And Jews talk about 6 million. We lost 30 million just to abortion here in the United States. That's not even counting all the millions from the slave trade and all that got lost just in the transportation and the logistics of it. Diseases strapped to the bottom of a ship, can't get no clean air, you crapping on yourself, people crapping on you, dude next to you died, they don't come get them till tomorrow. Now you got something growing on your goddamn leg, shit all fucked up, they spraying your ass, you eating some bullshit, you don't know what it is, can't wash your ass for a month. You know what I'm saying? Niggas, you know what I mean? A lot of motherfuckers just couldn't make it, man. So we're not talking about we're not even counting that Black Holocaust, but the Black Holocaust of abortion in America that's steadily pumped to our young women, and it's like one of their guiding principles now, and we got to deprogram them, or we don't survive. It got to be preached. Red pill, y'all got to preach it. Look, this ain't my fucking job. Fuck all you niggas. I just go off and go where I'm going and do my shit. But for the survival of the people, for us to continue to exist, and not just black people, just Americans. White people numbers falling too. Then they pumping in all these damn niggas, all these motherfucking dusty migrants from anywhere. And Oprah and them ain't talking about that.
Folks, I have to be honest, I'm not completely sure of the answers to those questions. Y'all give me great comfort in this arena. But this is a big country, and that's why all of my hope about Kamala is also accompanied by some genuine fear. Fear for our country, fear for our children, fear for what is coming our way if we forget the stakes in this election. And y'all, that's why I'm here today. And y'all know I hate politics. But I hate to see folks taken advantage of even more. So I wanted to do everything in my power to remind the country that I love, that there's too much we stand to lose if we get this one wrong. I'm deeply concerned, and I'm talking to everybody out there, that too many of us are still confused and buying into the lies and distortions from people who do not have our best interest at heart. So I want to address some of these concerns head on. Because when you lay out the options, this choice isn't even close. But whether it's online or in the media or in our social circles, there are folks who say they're not sure about Kamala. They accuse her of not providing enough policy detail. Some wonder, do we really know her? Is she too aggressive? Is she not aggressive enough? There are folks sowing seeds of doubt about whether she's who she appears to be. Now, don't get me wrong. Voters have every right to ask hard questions of any candidate seeking office. But can someone tell me why we are once again holding Kamala to a higher standard than her opponent?
That's something that makes no damn sense, man. Held to a higher standard. It's always the woman. She's the victim. You know, they ain't getting enough. It ain't fair. You know, it ain't like it's a wrestling match against Trump where it's a physical, you know, it's one campaign against another. And Kamala had $1 billion and still lost everything. Didn't win one swing state with $1 billion, and Trump didn't spend not nowhere near that. But they don't want to talk about that. They just want to, you know, there's no policy, no reasons, no nothing, just a bunch of punchlines and platitudes, man.
We expect her to be intelligent and articulate, to have a clear set of policies, to never show too much anger, to prove time and time again that she belongs. But for Trump,
okay, now this is what they really sell. Trump hate, negative Trump. They said so. Don't believe. So basically, the message is: look, some people gonna tell you that you don't know Kamala. Don't believe it. Don't believe none of that. And then they're holding her to a higher standard because she's a woman and she's black and of color or whatever the hell they call her. So she's held to a higher standard. There's no tangible proof of that. That's just dumb platitudes. Don't believe when they say you don't know nothing about her, but you got a girl digging up all shit and everything's fake. And they say, because you know what? Trump is bad.
we expect nothing at all. No higher standard than her opponent. To be intelligent and articulate, to have a clear set of policies, to never show too much anger, to prove time and time again that she belongs. But for Trump, we expect nothing at all. No understanding of policy, no ability to put together a coherent argument, no honesty, no decency, no morals. Instead, too many people are willing to write off his childish, mean-spirited antics by saying, well, Trump's just being Trump, rather than question his horrible behavior. Some folks think he's funny. And if you remember, that's exactly how he got elected the first time. Folks gave him a pass and rolled the dice, betting that he couldn't possibly be that bad. And then there were those folks who didn't think it really mattered who the president was, if you can believe that. And still others who thought it'd be a good idea just to blow up our entire democracy. Let us not forget how badly that worked out for all of us. Let us not forget the incompetence and the corruption, the chaos that was the cornerstone of his entire 4 years in office. Let's start with the pandemic.
Okay, see, they can go into Trump's record, which nobody thinks he did a bad job. They just think Fauci was an evil, creature that, is like a roach that should have got sprayed a long time ago. But Fauci's the one that made everybody get locked down and all that stuff. Fauci was running the show. Trump just showed up every day and, wanted to show people he was working on it. Every day, the guy came and took any questions from all the media, and they were all hostile for the most part. So when they get into they have their little platitudes, but once they get on that Trump hate, that's where they doing their thing. That's when they implementing their policy, and this is what they did. They ran on abortion and women rights, and Trump is bad.
Remember how woefully unprepared he was? How he was sowing seeds of fear and confusion, endangering lives with his lies and ignorance, denigrating the doctors and scientists trying to help us. You want to talk about plans? Well, my husband left him a very detailed pandemic plan.
Yeah, the one he got from the World Economic Forum. That plan. You will eat the bugs. You will own nothing and be happy. That's the plan.
And you know what he did? He ignored it. He had no clue how to get us out of that crisis. No ability to bring back the millions of jobs we lost so suddenly. No idea how to get our students back into school safely. No attempt to help stem the epidemic of loneliness and isolation that too many of our young people are still dealing with. And his failures had real cost. America lost 7 million more jobs.
Shut the fuck up! There's more, and I'm not gonna play it because I can't stand to listen to this nothing. She's gonna bash Trump for another 20 minutes, man. At a Kamala Harris rally. So her message was, I know they said you don't know Kamala. Don't believe that. And she's great. She done been the prosecutor, and she done been a senator, she done been the vice president. Nothing about the migrants, nothing about the inflation, nothing about the damn wars going on everywhere. But she had those positions. And she's got a degree, and she's a woman, and you should give her this job. It's all about that, man. All about a bunch of bullshit. So, unfortunately, we gonna go like the Native Americans because we failed our young men and handed their minds over to this woke cancel culture, all that stuff. And our population is gonna really collapse in some decades to come. And blacks in America, if these women aren't reprogrammed and we don't take back control over them, blacks are gonna be gone. We're gonna be like the Taino Indians, goddamn. We ain't gonna be here.
When you look at what Lord Hybrid is saying, he's right about all that, really.
It's real. It's gonna happen. I can see it because people ain't reproducing the same. Like I said, as we move out of the rural areas into the cities, once you get in the city, kids become on your expense on your balance sheet. You have to manage that expense. So by nature, economically, you can afford less children. That's what happened in us. And then with the abortion of such a high number of us, it's gonna catch up with us. China caught it with that one child policy, and they turned it around. They was like, oh no, this is dumb. We going extinct with this. And Bill Clinton, he just want to replace you with some dusty migrants. He don't care where they from.
Lord Hybrid is right.
So let the deprogramming begin. And I think we need to focus on we got to understand them, so I want to hear more of what they think, not just the extremes and the crying and the meltdowns. I'm talking about them answering questions and saying what they think. And from what I understand, the problem with them is they can't comprehend things outside of their ideology. Henry Ford once said, I don't want to get it wrong, but it was basically he had the ability to look at it from another man's perspective and see it from his perspective, you know. So these women, they're so rigid in the ideology and they think they're right and they've lost the ability. So we have to give them the ability to even just teach them the procedures. No, see, when they ask you why this happened and you say, well, I think it's because they weren't ready for a woman and they're uneducated, you gotta give them a counter thought to that. That's how you reprogram and say, no, see, that's incorrect. It should be, I don't know, and I need to go talk or gather information from individuals in other areas where they disagree with me. Let me capture the data and then analyze the data. But no, they're pre-programmed with a judgmental thought. They're uneducated. They're not ready because of gender. So that's a missed thought. So they need to say, we need to teach them, stop coming up with the answers and go get the answers. And stop being judgmental of the answers. Understand other people's perspectives. Understand where, and then you got to understand where we coming from as men. And help them understand numerically what this is doing to us and how it's going to cause our extinction. Yeah. Black American population at the rate it's going, yeah, it'll be very low 200 years from now. Very low, especially the what they call FBAs, those of us descended from slaves in this country who've been, foundational. I don't do the black thing. I just think foundational Americans. Basically the whites and the blacks. The white and the black Americans are the foundational Americans and the Native Americans. Yep, we gonna go if we don't change and we don't understand history and even historical reproduction patterns and help them to understand, you gotta have it, each one of you has to have at least 2 kids to replace, to maintain your population, not even grow it. You gotta have 2 just to maintain, because it takes 2 people to make a kid. So if 2 people make 1 kid, we lost 50% to that following generation. So you need at least 2 kids just not to lose. So that means if we want to grow, we should be having at least 3 kids. Somebody got to have 3 kids. And it's better for those kids with 1 woman. So the woman has to be deprogrammed from this bad data or our population is going to be gone. It's happening and it's going to continue to happen.
Yo, Lord Hybrid, I'm gonna agree with you too.
And it's real. So motherfuckers better wake up. And we need to start preaching it. And it goes from Red Pill to the rest of the world. Look, those of us who've been in Red Pill have watched our philosophy spread through us independently, permeate. I don't know how many men. Many millions. I know many millions. Dudes ain't thinking the same. Dudes ain't acting the same. Dudes being more strategic. And women are being more educated. So it's yeah, it's a real thing.
Last night
I did.
and she didn't come out.
No, she didn't speak last night.
How did you feel about that?
It was disappointing, definitely. But I kind of feel like if I were running for president, I wasn't winning, I probably wouldn't have come out either. I think that she definitely like just needed to take a break to kind of just take it all in. Like she worked very, very hard.
I don't know. I think she. She's a lie. First of all, she got caught lying about her grandma. She had a book she got, but it's supposed to be staying next to her grandma. Her grandma died before she was born. That's not even her grandma. So you lied about something that's small, something like that. That's just somebody can find out that you're lying. What you won't lie about? I mean, I don't like the way she had like Megan Thee Stallion. Like that's almost like she's saying like anybody. I can get these rappers to come up here and this is automatically gonna vote for me. I don't even care about politics, but I'm like, people see through that. Like I mean, plus I don't think. I don't even want to say this on camera, but I just think that a man should be president.
About the way things went last night.
Honestly, I'm very disappointed, especially as a Black woman in America. I'm very disappointed. I just wasn't expecting this. You know, I thought that our country was progressing and that we would be progressive and hire someone that is qualified, not just because the color of her skin, but because she's actually qualified.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Why do you think things didn't go her way?
I'm not sure. I'm getting my PhD at George Washington in public policy and administration. And so going forward, I know that that's something I'm going to be looking into is what happened with the voter turnout, what happened.
What's your gut tell you? Like academic stuff, PhD stuff aside, what are you feeling?
I'm thinking it's something that we missed, like a demographic that we missed. I don't know if I heard that this morning I was watching the news, I heard that the Latinos turned out really big. I don't know if that just wasn't anticipated or expected from the Harris campaign, but that's what I'm leaning towards.
Young people.
Yes, young people as well, yes. And that was something else they mentioned this morning was that the first-time voters, they were leaning towards Trump as well. And I think that just was unexpected. I think people think that because we're the younger generation, we're going to be more progressive and vote on the Democratic side, but that just wasn't it.
Are you surprised by the way stuff went yesterday?
I think I'm a little shocked. I don't know if I'm necessarily surprised. I feel like America wasn't ready for a woman president, and it shows. I don't necessarily think it's because she was Black. I think it's because she was a woman. And it's sad to say, but I think that's ultimately the truth.
So you think the reason that she didn't win was because she's a Black woman?
I think it's because she's a woman.
A woman, okay.
Yes.
Okay. You're not surprised. Why did so many young people vote for Trump this year? I have no idea. I really think it's because a lot of people are uneducated. And I think being that we are like still young adults, like we still are kind of, what's the word, like we're still voting based on what our parents are telling us to do. Like a lot of young people are not doing their own research. Their parents say, oh, vote for this person, so this is what they vote for. They haven't really taken the time to kind of branch out of the beliefs that they grew up in. And I feel like if a lot of people took the time to actually educate themselves, they would understand that they don't stand for the things that Trump necessarily believes and that they would flip over. That's good.
Lord Hybrid. Lord Hybrid, my brother, peace to the God.
Lord Hybrid.
Shout out to Lord Hybrid.
And then I want to give an acknowledgement to my rich friends in the building. Shout out to Lord Hybrid.
Nigga got money.
Again with the money? Yeah, again with the money.
And the woman gonna know, okay, he got something. He pulled up in the G-Wagon.
I can smell a motherfucker with money.
Yo, Lord Hybrid, my boy got them bands, bro.
You know what's gangster to me? It's to live the way you want to live.
I told you this, nigga.
In business, the goal is for you to become independent and be the boss, take the responsibility, and also get the profit.
I ain't got no motherfucking boss.
SP motherfucking I.
trust, believe in the Most High, and chase your dreams. I'm chasing my dreams. It's hard. If it was a plane, you're gonna experience turbulence. Yeah. If it's a ship, you're gonna go through some rough waters where rocky big waves. Ride there. As long as you believe that your destination, you want to get there, you'll do it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm living my dreams.
Stay the fuck away from these hoes, the dumb motherfuckers. Like, god damn.
I mean, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
Doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it. That is a great quote.
I want all the cars. I want all my niggas with the cars. I want all the hoes. I want all the jewelry. We popping bottles.
I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke. I can't eat. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It is you. I cannot believe it. Oh. Greetings, Your Highness. Greetings. Please stop bowing, please.
But if you believe in God, believe in
SP motherfucking I.
Believe in that, for real.
Because I told you last night don't be fucking smoking if you ain't got my fucking money. I told you that shit last night, right? If you ain't got my money.
SP motherfucking I.
I told you this, nigga. You was gonna get left.
Jason. Get the fuck off our dick.
Cheap bitch!
Whip that pussy! Come on, I got a present for you. Suck it! Suck it, nigga!
I told you this, nigga.
We are better than you niggas. We are better than you niggas.
You ain't nobody.
We are better than you niggas.
You're so dumb.
We are better than you niggas.
You ain't shit.
We are better than you niggas.
You ain't shit.
We are better than you niggas.
You ain't nobody.
We are better than you niggas.
You're so dumb.
We are better than you niggas.
You ain't nobody.
We are better than you niggas.
Wow!
We are better than you niggas. We are better than you niggas. We are better than you niggas. We are better than you niggas.
You're so dumb. You ain't nobody. You ain't shit.
We don't claim you.
SP motherfucking I.
These niggas can't touch us.
And the woman gonna know, okay, he got something. He pulled up in the G-Wagon.